Artificial love, we just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up.
Vine quickly covered her mouth with her palm to suppress her painful groan as she is hiding from someone. She heard them talking. Hey, where she vanished? I saw her running this way. Half go in the right and half come with me in left and make sure she won't run away. Boss will kill each one of us. They went in their respective directions to search for her, and Vine sighed in relief and came out of the place where she was hiding. But look who we got here. Her eyes widened and shiver ran down in her body hearing his voice, and he gripped her hand without any delay and started dragging her from there. Leave me, Jack, leave me. I'll not come with you. She was wiggling in his grip as she was freaking out of the thought that what he will do with her. After so many struggles, she succeeded in running away from that hell, and now she don't want to go there again. Just the thought of it gives her chills. She jerked his hand and pushed him using all her strength. No, I'll not come with you. Just then she was about to run. He held her hand and pulled her towards him and grabbed a fistful of her hairs, causing her to yelp in pain. In the process, both fell on the road, but he was not ready to leave her. She don't know what came in her hand. She picked it and hit him with that. It was a heavy stone, and his grip on her loosened as the red liquid started gushing out of his head. His head was hurting a lot. Taking the chance, Vine started running, but when she just reached the end of the alley, she bumped into someone. It was a lady, and he started shooting randomly towards her direction. Cause he wasn't able to focus and see properly because of the hard hit on his head. But the one bullet hit the lady. Vine turned around and the lady, who seems to be in her 40s, got shot in her arm and fell on the ground. Vine quickly ran to her. Achuma, are you okay? But the lady fainted before she could speak something. Vine looked towards Jake, and he was on the ground lifeless, probably unconscious. How is she, nurse? The nurse stopped on her path, but instead of answering, she looked at Vine's injuries. Girl, you should get treated first. You have so many injuries. Vine looked at herself, and the nurse was right, but it was nothing compared to the thing she faced 2 days ago. Vine shook her head. No, I'm fine. Please tell me, how is she? Doctors are seeing her, and the rest you will get to know after some time. And you wait here, I'm coming in a minute. Saying that, the nurse left from there, and Vine sat there grabbing her hair. Right now, she's afraid. What if Jake come here? But more than that, she's afraid. What if something happened to that lady? Cause that bullet was for her. That lady is here because of her. Though it was not intentional, but still, the cause is Vine. She was lost in her thoughts, but suddenly the surroundings became quiet. She heard the sound of whispering. She opened her eyes and looked around, and there was chaos in whole corridor. To be precise, silent chaos. People were running here and there, trying their best level possible not to make any sound, and in less than a minute, the whole corridor was empty. Then a man, fully dressed in black, his aura screamed nothing but danger, with numerous guards entered. He stopped right in front of the cabin where that lady was being examined. The head doctor came out hurriedly. They exchanged few words. The whole time, the man was looking at the doctor as if he'll swallow him alive if he spoke anything wrong. The doctor again went inside, and then that man looked towards me, causing my soul to left my body. Not to lie, he has very intimidating aura. His dragon eyes were staring deep in my soul. And then he took a step towards me. And I stood up. He is coming closer to me dangerously with each step, causing me to step back. At last, he stopped right in front of me, with very less gap between us. Thank you for bringing my mom here. Huh? I said like a tongue. For some moments, I wasn't able to process what was he saying, cause I was lost in his dark brown eyes. But soon I came to the reality when he snapped his finger in front of me. Hey, where are you lost, girl? Still nothing came out from her mouth, but she managed to speak this time. Okay, since you are here, I should go. And before he could say something, a voice interrupted him. The patient is gaining consciousness. He looked at her for the last time before walking towards the doctor. Vine was running towards the stairs, but then someone pulled her by grabbing her hand. Where are you going? He was Jungkook. The moment he came out, she was not there, and here he caught her. Vine looked at his hand and then at him. I think it's not your business, she said, pulling her hand out of his grip, and he looked at her, raising his one eyebrow. Well, I know it's not my business, but my mom said to drop you to your home, cause it's late night. How is she? Is she fine? She asked him cause she was worried about that lady. The bullet just went after touching her, and she fainted because she is sensitive towards the loud sounds. But you tell me, did you see who shot her and how you bring her here? Vine gulped hearing him, and sweat started forming on her forehead, cause till now she is confirmed that he is not a normal person, and if he got to know that his mom got shot because of her, then she is dead. I don't know. I just heard the sound of gunshot and I saw her unconscious and took her to the hospital. He wasn't convinced but nodded and again grabbed her hand. Let's go. I'll drop you to your place. No need, she said, trying to snatch her hand back, but this time he held her tightly. I'm not asking you, he said, and she got quiet. Holding her hand tightly, he started dragging her with him to the left, but she stopped him in the middle, and he looked at her confused. What happened? He asked, frustrated. Let's go from the stairs, she said while her gaze fixed on him. He followed her gaze and saw his biggest enemy, Jake, with bandage wrapped around his head. Vian's grip on his hand tightened, and he again looked at her. Let's go from stairs. Why? Do you know him? She looked at him, panicking. What? No. Actually, he is mentally unstable. When I was coming here, he suddenly grabbed my hand and started calling me his wife. He is totally mad. He looked at her suspiciously. Please, let's go. I'm getting late. He nodded and they both went towards the stairs. Whole time, Jungkook was looking at her suspiciously. Soon, they came out of the hospital and they both sat in his car. But suddenly, he pulled out his gun and pointed towards her forehead. Suddenly, Jungkook pulled out his gun, pointing at her forehead, and her breath hitched, feeling the cold metal against her skin. She looked at him with her terrified eyes. What are you saying? Oh, please, drop the act now. Do you think of me as a fool? I know, Jack is not a mental patient. He is a bloody mafia, my rival. Now tell me, how do you know him? And why were you hiding from him? Now she got it, that he is more dangerous than him. She looked around with her side eyes. There is no escape. She is stuck here with him in his car. I'll tell you everything, but please remove this gun. Please. No, speak first. Please remove it. I can't run. The car is locked, so I won't run. He sighed and took the gun back. Now be fast. I don't have time. She looked down, taking a deep breath, and started speaking. He is a psycho. Don't know where I caught his attention. And he started following me. He came to my house one day and offered millions to my parents. And they happily sold me. Her voice cracked, remembering the dreadful day, whereas he was shocked that how can someone do this to their own child? They sold me to him, but I denied to go with him. Even after so many protests, one day I opened my eyes in an unfamiliar face. All I remembered that I was in my room last night. And from then, my worst time started. It was his place. He beated me like animals when I denied to obey him. Just after 2 days, I ran away from there, cause only 2 days were hell for me there. He used to kill people in front of me. She started crying, couldn't able to complete her words, remembering that traumatic events. He put his hand on her shoulder, but she flinched and he took his hand back. Hey, calm down. Now you're safe. He tried to comfort her, even though he never in his life comforted anyone. Still, he is trying to comfort her because for the first time, he felt someone's pain despite being a ruthless mafia. After some time, she stopped crying. Are you okay? She nodded. So, where will you go now? Just tell me. It's late night. I'll drop you there. She thought for some time but didn't say anything, and Jungkook was looking at her only. Tell me fast. I'll go by myself, please. You don't have anywhere to go, right? No, it's not like that. Then what it is like? You want to spend night on road? No, actually, I don't live here. I don't know this place. Jack brought me here. I live in Busan and this is Seoul. So, Jungkook gave her a questioning look. I'll spend some days in orphanage till my friend will come. Can you drop me off to some orphanage? Orphanage? Yes. Any problem? Underages live there, less than 18. You know that? She nodded silently and then something clicked in his mind and he looked at her. She looked so young. What's your age? I'm 17. Why? Nothing. He cursed her parents in his mind before starting the car. All the time, Vine was leaning back on the seat with her eyes closed. Seems like she was so tired. And Jungkook was taking her glances in between. Suddenly, the car stopped. She opened her eyes and looked outside the window. It was a lavish mansion. She stared at the mansion with her big doe eyes and then at him. Where are we? He didn't answer her, instead got down from the car, walking towards her side. He opened the car door for her. Come out. But she stopped when he looked at her and silently got off from the car. He closed the door and looked at her. Follow me. What? No, she said in shock. Looking around, she tried to run, as she is finding this man more dangerous than Jake, but he held her hand. She screamed. She started panicking, trying to snatch her hand away from him, but he, being less impatient, held her shoulders tightly and shouted, "Will you stop and listen to me once?" He shouted, and she became all quiet. Just her breathing sound was all he could hear. He sighed. Taking a long breath, he said calmly, "Once I said, 'You're safe,' means you're safe. I won't hurt you." Softness wasn't something which he has, but still, he tried to sound as gentle as he could, sensing her fear, and she unknowingly nodded her head. Take it. He extended the glass of water towards her, which she took with her shivering hands. After drinking the water, she felt a little better. Feeling better? He asked, settling himself on the couch in front of her, and she nodded her head slowly. What else she could do? Look, Ryan, as you said, Jack is behind you. So, there is no way he is going to spare you if he finds you. So, he paused, and she looked up at him to continue. Stay here until I finish him. No, I can't. She instantly stood up from the couch, saying that, and Jungkook raised his brows, looking at her. Believe me, Ryan, he is very dangerous. Ryan looked at him, narrowing her eyes, and scoffed. So, are you any different from him? Some time ago, you were ready to kill me, remember? Jungkook smiled in a wicked manner and leaned forward before looking straight in her eyes. No, I'm very different from him. In fact, I'm way more dangerous than him. But I don't hurt the person unless he or she do something which I don't like. He stood up from the couch. Take it as a return favor. You saved my mother and I'm returning it to you by helping you. So we'll be even. So go upstairs. The maid will show you the room. And he left from there without letting her say anything. And she clenched her fist, looking at his disappearing figure. She tried to run from there, but her every attempt was futile. At last, she accepted that she had to wait to get free from here. He promised her that he'll let her go after killing Jake, so she decided to stay there. Look, Ryan, as you said, Jake is behind you. So, there is no way he is going to spare you if he finds you. So, he paused and she looked up at him to continue. Stay here until I finish him. No, I can't. She instantly stood up from the couch, saying that, and Jungkook raised his brows, looking at her. Believe me, Ryan, he is very dangerous. Ryan looked at him, narrowing her eyes, and scoffed. So, are you any different from him? Some time ago, you were ready to kill me, remember? Jungkook smiled cockily and leaned forward before looking straight in her eyes. No, I'm way more dangerous than him. But I don't hurt the person unless he or she do something which I don't like. He stood up from the couch. Take it as a return favor. You saved my mother and I'm returning it to you by helping you. So we'll be even. So go upstairs. The maid will show you the room. She tried to run from there, but her every attempt was futile. At last, she accepted that she had to wait to get free from here. He promised her that he'll let her go after killing Jake, so she decided to stay here. 1 month passed by her staying in his mansion, and she found many things about him, like he's not as bad as he looks. And the thing which attracted her the most towards him is his caring nature towards his mother. He loves his mother so much, and his mother also liked Ryan very much. And about Ryan and Jungkook, they both talked very less, but the silence said it all. What is going on between them? He is falling for her innocence, but always stepped back from accepting his feelings. Mom, are you baking cake for me? He said as he saw his mother preparing cake batter. Yes, but not for you. It's for Ryan. It's her birthday tomorrow. We'll cut it tonight. Her birthday? Yes. Jungkook, if you're free, then I have a work for you. Tell me, Mom, I'm always free for you. Take Ryan for shopping. I want her to celebrate this birthday. It's her 18th birthday, you know. But that child has no one. Sometimes God becomes so cruel to some people. She said while stirring the batter, while Jungkook gets lost in his thoughts about Ryan, and he silently left from there. Auntie, where are you taking me? Wait a little, dear. Now open your eyes. Ryan opened her eyes, and the scene in front of her made her eyes tear up. There was a cake beautifully decorated with lit up candles, and they both were singing birthday song for her. It was normal gesture for anyone, but for her, It was too much. It was too much for her. Wine blew the candles before cutting the cake. She fed the first piece to Mrs. June and hugged her. Thank you, Auntie. You don't know how much it meant to me. Vine was preparing herself to go to the bed, but then a knock on the door disturbed her. Opening the door, she found Jungkook standing there. What happened? Can I come inside? She noticed his nervousness and stepped aside to let him in. Actually, Vine was waiting patiently for him to complete. She noticed his one hand behind his back, maybe hiding something. What is this? She said, pointing towards the box he was holding. This is for you, he said and extended the box towards her. For me? She said, pointing towards herself, and Jungkook nodded. Yes, your birthday gift. He placed the box in her hand. Gift? But how can I? Vine, please. For the first time, I bought something for someone after my mom. And if you don't want it, then throw it in the dustbin. Hey, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Thank you for this. Open this. She opened the box and it was a beautiful bracelet which she liked in the mall. Today, he saw her lingering gaze over the bracelet time to time, but it was too much expensive for her, so he bought it for her. She caressed the bracelet in her hand and smiled. Thank you. A smile appeared on his face, seeing her happy. Don't know why, but he felt so good seeing her smiling, and he was the reason for her smile. He cupped her cheeks and placed a peck on her forehead. A sudden jolt ran in her body when his warm lips touched her cold skin. It was just for a second, but enough to skip her heart a bit. And that's when she realized how deeply she fell in love with this man. No demands, no expectation she has from this love, but still, it just happened. Vine came downstairs to get herself some water. It was late night, but she stopped, hearing some weird noises. It was like someone is groaning in pain. She turned on the lights, and the scene in front of her made her breath hitched. Jungkook was laying on the couch, very badly injured. He has so many bruises over his body. She ran to him. Feeling her presence, he opened his eyes, only to see her looking at him with worry written all over her face. How it all happened? She helped him to sit straight. How careless you are, huh? You didn't even care to clean your wounds. You dumb mafia, you stay here. She ran to kitchen where the first aid kit was placed. Taking it, she came back running to him. She started cleaning his wound and he was hissing every now and then. See how much it's hurting, although I'm doing it gently. But still, tell me if I apply too much pressure, huh? With so much care, she cleaned all his wounds and bandaged them. Her eyes shed so many tears while doing that, which she wiped secretly, but it was not hidden from him. It's done, but tell me, how did you got this much hurt? Were all your men went to play saucer and you were fighting alone? He chuckled a little at her remark, then shook his head. No, I went to finish Jack. He also has big man force. That's why it's all happened. But at last, I killed him. Now you are free. The tears she was holding escaped from her eyes without her will. She should be happy that now no one will trouble her, but she is not happy. All she is feeling right now is sadness, thinking now she have to leave him. She didn't expected him to love her back, but she was happy being around him. But now she'll not be able to see him also. For the first time in her life, she fell in love, but not every time first love get completed, right? Now you can go wherever you want without any fear. She nodded, standing up from the couch. So, I'll leave tomorrow. His heart dropped hearing her. He doesn't want her to go. He started liking her a long time ago. To be more precise, started loving her. And now, he want to keep her all to himself, want to protect her, want to love her. Take care of your wounds. They are too deep. She turned to go, but he held her hand. She turned around and her heart fluttered, seeing him looking at her intently. She looked at her hand which he was holding and then at him. Where will you go? She freed her hand from his grip and then said hesitantly, one of my friend's house. Ryan, you can stay here as long as you want. There is no need to. She cutted him off in the middle. No, Jungkook, I have troubled you enough, and you have done a lot for me, for a stranger like me, and I am very grateful to you. But now, I don't want to trouble you anymore. So, I'll leave tomorrow. Saying that, she hurriedly left from there, and he lowered his head, thinking about her words. His mind only stopped at her one word. Stranger? Are we still a stranger? Don't you feel anything for me? No, Jungkook, you are not a stranger for me. You were indeed, but from stranger, you became my everything. But I shouldn't take your kindness as love. I should stop this before this pain became unbearable for me. Ryan stepped outside of the car with her small bag in her hands and looked at him. She'll be here in any minute. You can go now. No, I'll stay here till your friend will come. It's about to get dark. I can't leave you here. Oh, don't care for me so much. I'll fall more deeper for you. Jungkook, you should go. I can manage. She stopped when she saw him giving her cold stares. I am here till your friend is coming. End of discussion. Silence filled in the air. Both wanted to say a lot, but couldn't speak. Not so soon, they both heard a horn of a car and saw her friend on the other side of the road waving at her. Vine looked at him and smiled. Thank you for everything you did for me. You are really an angel who saved me at the last moment. You became a really good friend of mine and will always be. Take care of yourself, and yes, don't get injured like last time. Please, it hurts. And she swallowed as it's the time to say goodbye, and it's hard to say goodbye when all you want to do is just to hold the person so tightly and never let them go. That's why people say one-sided love is beautiful and hurtful at the same time. Beautiful till you are in love, and hurtful when you know that you can't get the same love back. Goodbye. She gave him a wide smile before walking to the other side of the road. She's going away from me, and I am standing here. My feet are glued to the ground. The time I spent with her, all is flashing in front of my eyes. All were so beautiful. No, she made them beautiful. She will always be a very beautiful part of my life. The memories I have with her, I'll always love them. And her, yes, I fell in love with her, and I knew it a long time ago that I started liking her. But I just now realized how hard I fell for her when she is going away from me. It is more hurtful than I thought, seeing her going away from me. She reached to the car and her friend hugged her tightly, then opens the car door for her. She was about to sit in the car, but then again, she turned towards me and waved at me. I also smiled and waved my hand, and then she sat in the car and the car drove away. Suddenly, my heart felt so heavy. I clenched and unclenched my fist to stable my emotions. I walked to my car and sat inside, keeping my head on the steering wheel. I cried. Yes, I need to let it out. It's hurting. It's hurting so bad. I love you, Vaina. I love you so much. Vain walked on the street, lost in her thoughts. The grocery bag swinging lazily in her hands, but her thoughts were drawn to only one person, Jungkook. She stared at the empty road and mumbled to herself, I miss him. She trailed. I wish I could have told him about how I feel for him. At least I would be at peace instead of wandering in his thoughts. Her chain of thoughts broke when a black van pulled in front of her. Her steps halted. She sensed the danger in air, and her eyes widened in horror when some man got down from the van, covered in black from head to toe. She tried to run, but it was too late. She didn't even get the chance to struggle before everything went dark, and she fell limp in their hold. Jungkook sat in the living room with his laptop in his lap, but he wasn't working. His fingers were hovered above the keyboard, but his thoughts wandered far from the things on his laptop screen. He flinched when someone placed a hand on his shoulder. He turned his head only to see his mother. He sighed in relief and went back to his work. What happened, Jungkook? I'm noticing you from a long time. You are always lost in your thoughts. Everything is fine, right? His mother asked, and his hand stilled on the keyboard before he looked at her and nodded slowly. Just work stress, Mom. His mother nodded and sat in front of him. I'm missing Vayan, she said, and Jungkook sighed. I miss her too, he murmured under his breath. What do you think about Vayan? She asked, and Jungkook looked at her before focusing back on his work. What do you mean? He asked, even though he knew what his mother was hinting at. I was thinking about you and Vayan. Stop it, Mom. Jungkook interrupted her before she could complete it. Why? It's obvious that you love her. Don't try to fool me. I'm your mother. I know everything. She huffed angrily, and Jungkook sighed in exasperation. Mom, it's nothing like that. Say that one more time and I'm sending your handsome cousin's marriage proposal for her, and I'll make make sure their kids call you uncle. She threatened, and Jungkook gulped, already imagining the scenario. Mom, okay fine, I like her. But what's the point if she doesn't like me back? You think she doesn't like you? I don't think it's true. He got cut off by the blaring sound of his phone. He looked at it. It was an unknown number, so he rejected the call. So I was saying, the phone buzzed again with the same number. This time he picked it up and pressed the phone against his ear. Hello? He said reluctantly. For some seconds there was a silence. But then he heard a wicked laugh. He recognized that sound. And how he couldn't, cause the person on the other side was Max, big brother of Jack. How are you, my friend? He asked, his voice filled with amusement. None of your business. Ouch, you wounded me with your harsh reply. Is that how you talk to your old friend? Very bad, John, very bad. He mocked and laughed again. Are you done? No, I'm just getting started. By the way, I have something which is definitely your business. What do you mean? Wait, let me introduce you to my new fresh guest. Wine darling? He drawled, and Jungkook's heart dropped when he heard her voice. Jungkook, don't come here, he's planning to. Max, I will kill you if something happened to her. You will beg for your death, I swear. He growled, and Max chuckled. Well, I'm so scared. Do you want to know how much scared I am? He heard a slapping sound and a cry of Vian. His heart squeezed and rage filled in his every vein. I'll make you regret killing my brother. I will kill you first. Well, I'm waiting. I'm sure it's not hard for you to track my location. Come quickly. The late you come, the more I'll play with your doll. Bye. He hung up, and Jungkook clenched the phone harder. His mom came to him worriedly. What happened, Jungkook? Nothing, Mom. I have to go. He said hurriedly and rushed out of the house, grabbing his car keys. He lied. He slammed his hand angrily on the table, looking at the screens. Come on, dude. Did you really thought that will give you right location? Jungkook closed his eyes, trying to calm his nerves. He have to find Vian first. Then he suddenly remembered something. The bracelet. It has a tracker in that. He had installed a tracker in that bracelet for safety purposes, cause Jack was still a danger for her that time. I think I know where she is right now. Vian was tied on the chair, and her mouth was taped, and she was crying silently. She was surrounded by men who was guarding her on the order of Max and eyeing her time to time. She was dreading over what will happen the next second. Even though she told Jungkook not to come, some part of her is still waiting for him to save her. Suddenly, she heard a commotion outside, hushed voices, before someone kicked the door open, and all men got alert and pointed their gun at Jungkook. You all are surrounded by my men, and your boss is already dead. It's better you drop them, otherwise you won't see tomorrow's sunrise. More men entered behind him, and the men who were guarding Vian gulped and dropped their guns. Smart move. He hurriedly walked to Vian and untied her, and tried to remove the duct tape from her lips while she winced. It's okay. He slowly removed the tape from her mouth, and she hugged him tightly, and sobs raked her body. Vian, he tried to pull her away, but she wrapped her arms tightly around him. Jungkook wrapped his one arm around Vian and looked at Jimin. Take everyone out. Jimin nodded, and soon the room was empty. Jungkook looked down at her, who was still sobbing in his arms. He rubbed her back to calm her. Ryan, everything is fine now. But we have to get out of here. It's dangerous here, he said, and she finally pulled back and looked at him, her eyes red, hairs a mess, tears stained her face. Jungkook cupped her face and brushed her tears away with his tongue, and brushed her hairs back and kissed her forehead. Warmth spread through her body and she closed her eyes, soaking into the moment before Jungkook stepped back and looked at her. Let's go. He took her hand and walked out with her. Jungkook was walking Ryan to his car when she saw Max, badly injured, thrashing to get out of the horde of men who were dragging him towards a SUV. But suddenly, he snatched a gun from one of the men and aimed the gun at Jungkook and pressed the trigger, and Ryan pushed him aside and he fell on the ground. Gunshot echoed in the silent night. Jungkook's blood ran cold as he slowly turned around and saw Ryan on the ground, clutching her arm, blood gushing out from her hand. His trance broke when she let out a heart-wrenching cry and Jungkook sprang into action. Ryan, no, what the hell you did, damn it. He immediately picked her up and carried her to the car and settled her on the passenger seat and got behind the wheel, drove as fast as he could. He glanced at her time to time, who was crying in pain. She whimpered, "No, don't talk, Ryan, please, I can't lose you. I love you, Jungkook." She confessed, her breath shallow, and Jungkook's hand stilled on the steering wheel before he composed himself and focused on the road. Jungkook was walking back and forth in front of the operation theater. It's been 3 hours since doctor took her in and the operation was still going on. He still had her blood on his hands, on his clothes. But the only thing that mattered right now was Ryan, and her confession also shook him. She loved him and he still let her go. If something happened to her, he won't be able to forgive himself. If only he hadn't let her go, kept her under his protection, none of this would have happened. And now, he can only curse himself. The door of the operation theater opened and doctor stepped out, removing his mask. Jungkook rushed to him. "Doctor, how is she? She's fine, right? She is now out of danger. The bullet had done so much damage and she had lost so much blood. But by God's grace, we had blood of her blood group in our blood bank, so we were able to save her. For some days, she won't be able to use her hand. Don't worry, there is not a fracture. But it will cause her pain if she used her hand much. So take care of her, excuse me," doctor said and left, and Jungkook sighed in relief, staring at her through the glass. It was midnight, but Jungkook was still wide awake beside Ryan, holding her hand in his, staring at her like she was his whole world. "Well, she is. Please wake up, Ryan. How much more will you torture me?" He whispered and rested his head on her bedside, still staring at her. After some time, Ryan stirred in her sleep and her eyes fluttered open. She blinked few times to take in the surroundings she was in, and then she felt the grip on her hand and found Jungkook sleeping while keeping her hand close to his chest. She slowly tried to pull her hand out of his grip. But he woke up because of the sudden movement as he was not sleeping. He looked at her and sat straight. "Ryan, are you okay? Are you feeling pain anywhere? Wait, let me call the doctor." He got up to call the doctor, but before he could take a step towards the door, she held his hand, her touch soft, but it was enough to stop him. "I'm fine, just a little pain. Please stay here with me. Jungkook looked at her and slowly sat down beside her on the stool. Not here, on the bed. The bed is big enough for two of us, she said, but Jungkook shook his head. No, Ryan, you can get hurt. Jungkook, please, I need you. She whispered, her voice almost a plea. And Jungkook sighed and climbed on the bed beside her after taking off his shoes. Ryan moved towards him and kept her head on his shoulder while he carefully wrapped his arm around her waist, careful enough not to hurt her hand, and pressed his lips to her hair in a quick kiss. She smiled. We are behaving like a couple, she murmured, and Jungkook smiled at the thought. We are about to become one. Ryan slowly pulled away and looked at him nervously. Jungkook smiled at her expressions and slowly cupped her face. She closed her eyes at his warm touch and looked at him after a beat. I won't let you go, Ryan. I'm not leaving you alone. You don't know what I went through in past hours. I felt like... He stopped when she pressed her index finger to his lips and looked at him, her gaze locking with his. I don't want to go either. I want to stay here with you. Jungkook stared at her, his eyes filled with emotions. He leaned in and rested his forehead against her. I swear, I'm not letting you go away after this, he whispered. I'm not going anywhere. I simply can't. I don't want to. I love you, Ryan. I love you so much. I love you more. She winced slightly at the pain in her hand, and Jungkook adjusted their position on the bed and rested her hand on his chest and covered it with his own, holding it gently. We will get through this together, he whispered. I'll take care of you, Ryan, always. She smiled. Her eyes fell close and she snuggled more into